Wake up. It's the Sleep Unplugged podcast, episode 52, Finding the Perfect Mattress, the Bed's Too Big Without You. Welcome, everyone, to the podcast. My name is Chris Winter. I'm a neurologist and sleep specialist and your host. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. If you're a veteran, welcome back. We're happy to have you. This is an exciting episode for a variety of reasons. Number one, we're recording it on Father's Day, which has been a really fun day. Number two, we've never had a guest on the show. We have 5 invited guests: Jada, Brad Pitt, Huey Lewis, Celine Dion, and Kieh Clark. But we actually have a guest on the show today, which is special because today is episode 52, marks a year of the podcast. And our guest is none other than my daughter, Maeve, who is responsible for getting me to do this podcast. And she is the producer of the podcast and the artist, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, of the amazing graphic that we use for our podcast. Maeve, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, happy to be here. Glad to see 1 year of the podcast and happy to be the first guest. Feels like an honor.
It is an honor. It's a huge honor. and it's an exciting time for you because you are getting ready to leave and move to New York and start graduate school at Columbia in
clinical psychology.
So a lot of this podcast came about because Maeve was listening to some really great clinical psychology podcasts and said, I think you could do what these individuals are doing. So that's a big reason why we're here. And I thought, what better way to send Maeve off than with having her on the podcast? But I also think it represented a great opportunity to talk about mattresses. So we are 52 episodes into the podcast, and we have not talked about one of the most obvious topics, which is the mattress you sleep on, the mattress you select to be the foundation of your sleep. And so tell us about this change as it relates to you. You're actually moving to New York to move in with your boyfriend, and
Yes,
you all are choosing a mattress.
Yeah, we're moving to New York. This will be my first time living in an apartment in a city other than Charlottesville, so new location. I'm moving in with Frankie, my boyfriend, so also my first time sharing an apartment with a boy. So that's a change, living in a 1-bedroom in New York. So definitely a downgrade from the size as well. And yeah, trying to figure out a mattress that will accommodate both of our sleeping needs. In a New York apartment, we will not have a ton of space. So we've really been trying to be really careful to be selective and make sure that the bed in the bedroom and the couch in the living room, they're going to be multi-use, serve as dining room and study space. So being really intentional about those 2 spaces and making sure we're set up for success.
All right. Well, so before we dive in, if you're a listener to the show, you can follow us. You can comment on your first mattress purchase, what you're sleeping on now. We'd love to hear it. It's Dr. Chris Winter Twitter, Dr. Chris Winter Instagram. You can watch our show and see our awesome producer and my daughter Maeve on the YouTube channel. That's a Sleep Unplugged podcast. Very quickly, corrections from the last episode. We were talking about Roxanne Pritchard from University of St. Thomas and her amazing co-author of the poster Sleep, Loneliness, and High-Risk Alcohol Use in College Students Before and During the COVID Pandemic. The name of the co-author that I completely butchered was Caleb Cutrer, C-U-T-R-E-R. So you can follow him and follow Roxanne about her research. I wanted to read one quick review of the podcast, which I'm very excited about and really appreciative of. Dr. Winter is simply the best of the best when it comes to sleep. The first time I heard him on the radio, NPR Science Friday, I had to pull over into a parking lot because I didn't want the act of driving to distract me from what he was saying. Now I can hear him every week. He's just so knowledgeable about sleep while always being down to earth. It's clear that he truly cares about his patients and about staying true to the science. Bravo and thank you. And that was from Hello, Dr. Hello Sleep. I really appreciate that, Jade. That's very kind of you to take the time. As you know, our title is always going to reference something related to music. And The Bed's Too Big Without You is a single off of the Police's second album, Regatta del Blanc. This was the album that had Message in a Bottle, Walking on the Moon, Bring on the Night. And I know, Maeve, you're a huge Police fan. In fact, I think you have the vinyl of what was their first Outlandis Dan Moore, their debut album. I think you have Ghost in the Machine, Synchronicity. And I love the title of the song, The Bed's Too Big Without You, because I know you and Frankie have been having a long distance relationship since you graduated from college. He's in New York.
Yep.
You're working for the Department of Ophthalmology here in Charlottesville, Virginia. We love it when Frankie comes. We were sad when you leave to go. But I know that when you're without him, you probably feel the bed is a little too big.
Yes. Well, especially when we upgrade to a queen size mattress. I would say the full size bed, for both of us being close to 6 foot, the bed is not often too big. Too big for the two of us, but we will be getting a larger bed when we move into the apartment. So
before I forget, I have ordered you the LP of the Police Regatta de Blanc, which loosely translated means white reggae, because they were heavily influenced by reggae and their new wave. And so I've ordered you that album that you can take with you and play and remember the podcast. So let's get into it. So before we start, I'd love to know more about what you are sleeping on and what Frankie's sleeping on right now. Like, what are we trading up to or trading up from?
Sure. So we both have full-size mattresses now. I'm sleeping on a Yoga Sleep mattress. On the softer side, it has a mattress pad as well. And I really like it a lot. I actually tend to like sometimes a softer bed. Frankie's bed is kind of a traditional spring mattress. I actually don't know what the brand is, but I know he's had it for a while. Also on the softer side. And something that we've noticed is because the two of us have a weight difference, Frankie, just a bigger guy, weighs more than me, is that when we share a bed on the softer mattresses, he often pulls the weight down, almost forms a crater. And throughout the course of the night, I will roll into that crater, roll into him. And as he's also a hot sleeper, we end up side by side, and the combination can be pretty toasty. So
this is reminding me of the TikTok video that explains gravitational pull.
Exactly.
That the massive body creates a fold in space that everything kind of falls down. So that's really interesting. So the softness has been an issue in kind of creating that pocket and heat. Are you a warm sleeper? Is Frankie a hot sleeper? Like, how does temperature tend to affect your sleep?
I'm a cooler sleeper, but I also like my bedroom to be really cold as well. But I don't sleep particularly hot, but Frankie is definitely a hot sleeper. Almost a little furnace sort of in the bed. So something that was really important to us first was having a firmer mattress so that we wouldn't, collide in the middle of the night. And second was having a mattress with some sort of temperature control so that he can stay cool and so that the whole bed doesn't, heat up to kind of oven levels.
So we decided, if you're a listener of the show, disclaimer that I am a contributor and have worked for sleep.com and Mattress Firm for a long time. I believe in their mission. I believe in people being able to test out mattresses before they buy them, so they really have a sense of what they're getting. I also think it's really important for a company to not only stand behind the mattresses they sell, but also if you and Frankie make a decision that seems great, because right now, you and I went to a mattress firm here in Charlottesville, worked with an amazing sleep expert named Roman, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We're also working at the same time with a mattress firm in New York, working with Jimmy C, who's up there, and really helping to try to figure out to make sure that your notes on the mattress are matching up with Frankie's. I think so I want to disclaim, just put out there that I have a financial relationship with Mattress Firm. But even if I didn't, I think everybody needs to be able to go to a mattress firm or some sort of facility and try the mattress out. And to me, there's nothing better than Mattress Firm. And so you and I jumped in the car and we went to Charlottesville to a Charlottesville Mattress Firm. So let's talk about that experience. What were your thoughts about that? And as you went through the process, what were you looking for?
Sure. So I thought that it was great to be able to try out all the mattresses. We kind of came in with a couple ideas. I've tried a Tempur-Pedic before, so I knew that memory foam was something that I did like, but also know that sometimes the memory foam can be really, you can sleep really hot in them. So that was something, I was worried about. But Roman was great, and he explained that actually the Tempur-Pedic, they've put a lot of effort into creating technology in the memory foam, because I guess the sleeping hot in those types of bed was a common complaint. So a lot of their newer mattresses, it seems, have a lot of cooling technology. And it was crazy. I mean, you can feel to the touch, you put your hand on them, and a lot of those beds were really cool.
So we'll just put out there as sort of the jumping off point. I sleep on a Tempur-Pedic Pro Breeze that is medium. I sleep very hot, and I'm a big believer in mattresses that are cooling, helping people sleep better. And there's a lot of information about that. We've talked about on the show, the 2018 Swiss study. It was a German study. Of course, it was on 32 middle-aged men, but showed that those temperature regulating mattresses or products can really help to increase the quality of sleep and increase deep sleep. So you all were coming in. So when we go to town and you and Frankie are here, you all often sleep in our bed. So you all had experience sleeping on the medium Tempur-Pedic Pro Breeze.
Yes.
So that was, I think, the first mattress maybe you tried out when you were in the store. Where did you, and you liked it?
Yeah, loved it. And we tried some other ones too. The Luxe Breeze. We tried a medium and a firm, which I thought that the Luxe Breeze, the firm was a little bit too firm. I think that the memory foam, it doesn't have the same issues as the more traditional spring mattresses that kind of sink and, you feel a weight shift. I think Roman actually said that there's a popular Tempur-Pedic ad where they have a glass of wine sitting on one side of the bed and then a kid jumping on the other. And because of the memory foam absorbing the movement, you just don't have the same kind of shifting that a normal mattress has. So yeah, I liked the Luxe and the Pro Breeze. Just thought that the firm Luxe was pretty firm, a little too firm maybe.
Yep. And it's really interesting too, having slept on the mattress for a long time, we haven't noticed any indentation whatsoever over time. Like that was always the mattresses that we had prior to the Tempur-Pedic. As years passed, you kind of created that sort of permanent divot in the mattress, which we've never, and we're not huge people, myself nor my wife, but just, over and over the time in the same kind of position have kind of created that. So after the Tempur-Pedics were on the list for sure. You liked the Luxe. Could you see a big difference between the Luxe Breeze and the Pro Breeze?
Not a huge difference, but the cooling of the Luxe Breeze felt dramatic. I mean, the Pro Breeze also was really cool to the touch, but the Luxe Breeze seemed to be icy almost. But
and that was I mean, I think that if you look at the specs on that, I think the Pro Breeze is dropping your body temperature like 5 degrees and the Luxe is something like 8, which is pretty impressive when you look at bedding, pillows, pajamas, and things you might wear that would actually do that. It's pretty, so you did see a difference, and I feel a difference as well too. And it is pretty startling to go into a store and lie down on them, and then lie down on a mattress that doesn't have that cooling property. So it seemed pretty safe to say that both you and Frankie, everything that wasn't sort of cooling kind of got ruled out.
Probably off the table. Yeah.
Yep. So what was the next mattress that you tried?
So the next mattress we tried was the Sealy Luxe Firm Pillow Top. mattress, which was great. I think that Roman had said that these mattresses were trying to sort of combine the best of both worlds in terms of keeping some of the memory foam properties, but also sort of embracing the more traditional mattressy feel with the pillow top. So you had more of a bounce than with the Tempur-Pedic. And I thought that they also have the cooling properties. Now, it was not nearly as dramatic, the cooling to the touch, as the Tempur-Pedic, but it was a little bit more of a springy, maybe a mattress feel that maybe that Frankie and I are sleeping on now felt a little bit more similar to that, but still more supportive. And I liked the firm of that, because with the firm plus the pillow top, not nearly as firm as the Luxe Pro Breeze. So super comfy. Yeah.
And then what was your final mattress that made the list?
Yeah, the final one that made the top 3 or top 4 was the I-Series Serta Hybrid in firm again. And this one felt it was more similar to the Sealy again, kind of the not quite as dense feeling as the memory foam of the Tempur-Pedic. But still had cooling properties. Maybe even now the I-Series even a little less cooling than the Sealy, but still, had those properties. Yeah, and comfy as well. I think between the two, I just liked the Sealy a little bit better, but I don't know if I could even tell you why. Just kind of a little bit of a better feel, but those two were pretty similar.
So it's interesting. The I-Series Serta, when Tice, your brother, our middle son, went to the Naval Academy, he was sleeping on what I would refer to as a mystery bed. Like, we've got this mattress in Box Springs. I have no idea where it came from. I'm not sure how we came to possess it. And we felt so badly for him sleeping on the rack and going through his plebe year that during his plebe year, we bought a Serta I-Series full-size bed for him. So when he came home, he would sleep on that, and he loves it, and he makes a lot of efforts to come home. In fact, he surprised me for Father's Day coming home. I assume it's because it was Father's Day and not simply to sleep on his sort of I-Series. Yes, he is upstairs napping.
Extra hours.
That's right. He did. That's right. So other things to think about purchasing a mattress. Did you have any expectations in terms of purely being memory foam, a foam hybrid box spring? Pocketed coils. Did you or Frankie have any? Was that high on your priority list or something you were considering? Or was it more just, I'm going to choose what it feels good, I don't really care what's really inside of it kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't think that we really thought a tremendous amount about what was inside, but it does seem like with the things on our list being support and cooling, it just seems like there are more options with memory foam mattresses, and we've tried a memory foam mattress and like that, so it seemed like a better fit. But no, honestly, not a ton of things on our list for that.
Yep. And you've mentioned size, the queen size being sort of a non-negotiable, and you've got the space in your bedroom for it. But going through which is really interesting. I've never looked for an apartment in a place like Manhattan before, but that was a really interesting process to kind of be a part of peripherally. And it really was sort of one of the things that you all needed to have, which was, proximity to your program in Columbia, Frankie being able to get easily to his work, but also a place that would allow you to have a queen size bed, I think was.
Yeah, and to have a separate bedroom. There's a lot of 1-bedroom places in New York that maybe are more of a studio style, but I think it was really important for both of us to have a separate place from work and living room and kitchen and everything, and having a separate place where we would sleep.
Yep.
Because sleep is super important to both of us.
Organic materials, the actual constituents of the mattress, was this a consideration for you all as well either?
That was not as much of a consideration, but something that I don't know how popular it is for, amongst the general population, but something that was important for us is to have organic linen sheets and bedding. Linen, that's just what works best for us, is kind of a more organic feeling linen fabric for sheets, and we find it to be cooling, the most cooling. And neither of us like the slippery feeling of silk or satin. So the linen works well for us, and that kind of, hewn texture we both enjoy.
And obviously being in this family kind of, we get a lot of pillows sent to us. So one of the things that was really stressed when you were working with Roman is, hey, you're going to put all this effort and energy and frankly money into a mattress that's going to sort of serve as this foundation. How important is your pillow to you?
Sure. Yeah. I have a pillow that I've been using for a while, and I think we were trying to remember where it had come from. I think it was like that organic. It's sort of a memory foam feel, but it's quite soft. And I think Frankie has similar pillows too. So I kind of hadn't put a lot of thought into, I've never like shopped for a pillow. I think you honestly get sent so many that usually I just kind of, we just end up with pillows. But I thought that was a good point that everyone was making, that, the mattress is only half the story. The pillow is important too. So
One that you have is actually a Tempur-Pedic.
okay.
I have every one of the Tempur-Pedic pillows here. And I think that's what you were using just as a demonstrator when you were actually at the Mattress Firm, but they carry a whole suite of pillows. I actually personally use a pillow. It's a Sleepy's pillow with Reactex, just because I like a lighter pillow, because I often have my arm underneath it, for sure. So interesting. When you think about the things that you and Frankie have bought, sort of behind the scenes look here, there's been a lot of purchasing and thrifting and doing all kinds of things. But I think it's safe to say that the two items you've put the most effort and frankly money into were your couch and your mattress.
Yes, which actually the couch will even be doubling as a bed for guests. We splurged and got the sleeper couch, so even that will end up being a bed. But that wasn't, both of those things were super important to us. We we won't have space for a dining room table, so the couch is sort of a dining room table, and our bed, that's a place we'll be perhaps working on and doing some other things in. So those two things were, when we looked at our budget, we definitely felt like the mattress needed to be up there in terms of the items we were spending money on.
So just as to our listeners, this was something, the bed is very important to me. It was something that I wanted to kind of be involved in. And I felt like, I wanted to make sure that you and Frankie were starting off on the right foot, and you have the mattress that really works the best for you. Because, it was interesting. We talked last week in our episode about couples that sleep better together and have better sleep hygiene, fight less and get along more. So that was Wendy Troxel's research. And so thinking about that, it was really important for me, for you all to have a great mattress. I did think it was interesting. So taking me out of it, it's just you and Frankie by yourself. Roman did mention that I think they had something like 60 months financing? Did you catch that?
Yeah, it was
0%, 60.
Yes,
I hope that's right as I'm saying this. So I'm curious, how much would you, if you'll be in grad school, you do have jobs that you will take with you, that some jobs you'll take with you. Frankie has a really great job. How important and how much would you have financially invested in your mattress? How would that metric have worked were I not in the picture, do you think?
Interesting. Well, I'll use the Peloton to gauge it, because I'll be paying for this Peloton for years. But it's
We are open to the podcast Peloton sponsorships. I'm kidding.
But I think the Peloton is about $63 a month for 2 years, but then you own the Peloton at the end of it. They have longer systems also, I think that's right.
That's right.
That's a similar thing. I'm paying $60 a month for an item that keeps me healthy and keeps me, in shape. I mean, I feel like around there for a mattress too, right? You use it every night and it keeps you healthy and it keeps you sane and, giving you good night's sleep. So I would pay $63 a month as well for a mattress, I think.
So we actually bought a Peloton during COVID, and I will tell you, I was okay. I mean, I'm okay with it, in terms of you never know what to expect with that. The Peloton between my wife and my daughter has been used virtually every day since that time. In fact, I bet mom went past her 1000th class and forgot
Yeah,
to.
she blamed it on me.
Oh, she did go past it.
Yes, accidentally.
Okay.
It was not my fault.
Well,
Let the record
if
state.
there's any Peloton instructors listening, a shout out would have been really nice. We missed the 1000th class accidentally, but no, it's the same thing. But I think the
Yeah.
difference maybe between the Peloton and the mattress is guaranteed usage.
True.
Nobody
True.
buys the mattress like, well, I got it a few years ago, and I just keep sleeping in a kitchen chair. I'm not sleeping in the mattress.
Every day, in and out, and it does make a huge difference. And I agree, especially when you're sleeping with a partner. There are nights where, you know, the AC has been broken, or when we're dog sitting for you guys and the dogs are keeping us up or something, and we're not having an awesome day the next day, especially Frankie. Frankie needs to sleep, so it's important.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, and I'm incredibly appreciative for everything you've done to get the podcast going. I am deeply emotional about you leaving because we will truly be empty nesters at this point, but we're so excited to see you get up on the right foot and so excited for you to begin your life with Frankie. This was an exciting time for us. Our first mattress was a futon, which seemed more like a beanbag than anything else, but everything was great. But I love the idea that you're going to be starting off with fantastic sleep rather than eventually getting to fantastic sleep.
Gold standard.
We're starting off with the gold standard. So of the mattresses that you looked at, what's your top choice?
Honestly, my top choice is the Tempur-Pedic Pro Breeze Medium, which is what you sleep on as well. But really, all of those mattresses that I listed, I would be so happy with. I mean, I know I would get good sleep with any of those.
So bottom line, if you're looking for a mattress, if you're looking to really create a foundational base for your sleep, visit a Mattress Firm. I always tell people you can walk out of your door, pick a direction, and just start walking. Within 20 minutes, you will be at a Mattress Firm front doorstep, and there's an amazing sleep expert there to help you out. I visit mattress firms all over the country. I'm kind of obsessed with it, and I've never walked into a place that wasn't helpful. And I'm going to special thanks to Jimmy C up in New York for helping us out and helping Frankie out. Also Roman here in Charlottesville, Virginia, two really amazing people. And just want to shout out to everybody at sleep.com and Mattress Firm for being so welcoming to me and making me feel like part of the team. So that's it for episode 52. We've recorded 1 year's worth of Sleep Unplugged podcast. Really happy to have you along for the ride. You make it a lot of fun. Get in touch with the show. Tell us about your mattress, how you chose it. DR
and subscribe.
Comment and subscribe. I always forget to say that. I appreciate your comment, Dr. Hello Sleep, and everybody else who's taken the time to do that. You can comment also on our YouTube page. We'll get that loaded up soon. Thank you very much, Maeve.
Thank you for having me.
For being a part of it. And until we talk again next week, sleep well.